I told you to work on some things before now. Have you done that?
Or margin.
That should be
You,
margin and
you said
pattern.
we should practice margins.
Yeah, this one.
Yes, yes. I worked on it.
So, you should have submitted something by now.
Oh, I thought you said we should study it and practice it on our. I didn't know it's in form of a project.
No, I said you should at least send me a demonstration.
Oh,
Okay, it's fine.
yeah,
What did you
send
learn
it to
from
me,
it?
sir. Yes, sir.
What did you learn from it?
Okay, okay. Oh, I learned. I learned the. I learned the normal margin, margin top, margin right, margin bottom, and margin left, and how to declare four properties. Like if we are given if we are given or four side of an element, like how to give margin to them. And at the other hand, I learned how to or how to give margin to two side of an element. Like,
Can you please elaborate? Like,
okay, okay.
like if you mean two sides of an element, what do you mean?
So in the sense that, oh, how can I even put it? For example, if we want to give margin to the left side of an element, like how we can declare it through the values.
Yeah. Let me ask you one more question. The same question I asked last
Okay,
week. I said
okay.
for margin and some properties, they accept two parameters. Some accept three. Sometimes they accept four. For
Yeah.
for example, the time we did border radius, there was
Yes.
a time we used just one value. Another time we changed it to two values. Another time we changed it to three, then to four. So for
Yes.
padding and margin,
Yeah.
what can you say about them with the parameters they accept?
I'll give to okay, like giving.
Yeah, just lost. Take this that takes a little by little. You should really go over the stuffs.
Okay.
You should go over them.
Yeah.
See,
Okay.
these things look very simple to the eyes, but they look when it comes to implementing them, it used to be very tricky. So if
All
you
right.
don't practice them, you might not you might not develop something meaningful. For example,
Okay.
you can use three, you can use four, you can use two. You can always use one. Also use one. One, two, three, four. Like we did for border
Okay.
radius.
Other radius.
I hope you still remember the box model we did,
Yes, I remember.
where we have boundary, we have the padding and the margin.
Yes.
The margin
Yes.
is to be outside. The boundary is the border, and the inner area we have the padding.
Yes.
Let Control Shift I. Let me show you a bit like yeah,
Okay.
yeah element. You can see
Right now.
immediately around the element, immediately around the content, we have the padding. That's the space around it. So where the
Yes.
border now lies is around the padding. So margin will
Yes.
stay outside the border.
Okay.
So you can see that is why they grouped margin and padding together, because margin, padding, and border all forms box model together with the content. Actually,
Mm.
there's no way you talk about box model without mentioning border, margin, and padding. So, um, do we need to go over this, or we should just continue?
We can continue.
Okay, I think we've done this. The height and width, that should be a
I
friend.
can. That should be what?
So that should be a friend.
Yeah. 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 So,
Uh-huh. The height and width of an element
yes.
in the text is it talks about the how tall is an element and how wide it is. If you
Okay.
look at block elements, their width is always 100% by default. Have you noticed
Okay.
that?
Yes. 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 Yes.
When I mean block elements,
Okay.
let us demonstrate one. Let's say age one. CSS. CSS introduction. Let me call it age one. Oh, sorry.
Okay.
This is an element I'm calling just age one, and give it an background color. You can see by
Yes.
default it is always 100%. Look at the width, how wide it is. It covers up
Yes,
to
I
the
can.
end. And if you look at the edge, if you look at this one, I told you that all browsers have their default style for elements.
Yes.
For the body tag, for all these ones, they have their default margin, padding, and a lot more. Unless you want to override them and change them to 0. So by
Okay.
default, age one has the property all block elements have width equals 100%.
Okay.
So I think we've already demonstrated width with this, using this one,
Okay. We,
right?
yes. 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 Yes.
So do not forget, I mentioned the units of measurement. You should also go over them as well. It's
Yes.
important. The pixel, percentage,
Yes.
em, and
Yeah.
rem. You get it?
Yes.
Sorry. Okay, now for this one, if you For height, for this thing, there is another value under unit of measurement we also use for height and width, which is called
Okay.
VH. That is vertical height. Let's see if it's mentioned there. I'm not going through these documents, but let's see. Vertical height takes the full height of the it takes the height of the screen into consideration. For example, if the vertical height is 20 pixel, it will take it will consider the 20 pixel as vertical height. Then you can take a percentage of it, like 50%, 20%. Let's see. Wow, they didn't mention it here. Well, it's one of those unit of measurement we use in those days. Well, I'm not sure if they still use it now. Let me check. Height equal to 100% VH. Let's see. If you take the whole, look at this. Just check the top.
Yes, I can.
Check the bottom. I just scrolled a bit. It's still the same thing as now. Let's see if 100% will do. Though you can see this one is not working.
Okay.
Do you have horizontal width?
Pixel. Can we give it?
What?
I said, can we give it pixel? Check.
PX. This PX.
Okay.
So everything you apply to this one, you can also apply it to this. There are some elements. There are some tags. I think span. Yeah.
Okay.
Not all. It is not everything you can apply. And listen, not all properties work for all tags. Sometimes
Okay.
some will not work for the other. Let's check
Okay.
this one. Um, you can see. Can you see what just happened? Hello.
I can see it.
Yeah.
You can see that even after applying width, it does not affect it at all. So
Yes.
let's apply 50% to this one. So you can see this 50% is taking 50% of the width, but this 100% does not work. Why?
Because it's not a block element.
Yeah. There are some ways whereby you can also use you can enforce this particular width on it by using display. But we are not working on display this today. I just want to show you inline block like this, but we are not working on that for now. So I'm just trying to call your attention to some things whereby if you apply some properties somewhere, they won't work, so you'll not be baffled. Okay.
Okay. All right.
Alright.
Normally, if you go over this document, it may not explain it in depth like that. That's why you need a guide sometimes to tell you some things. At least that person has encountered some challenges along the way. So let's see if there's any other useful thing on this page. Not really. If I tell you to do this one, won't you be able to do it?
We'll be able to do this.
Wait, oh,
You should be able to do this one too. Well, it looks tricky. I'll find a challenge website for you to be working on.
Okay.
This outline. It says outline CSS shortened. Stop it now. Allows drawing a line around the element outside the border. It is used to set all the properties of the. Look at this. Draw outside the border. It is used to set all the properties of the outline in a single declaration. So let's see what it does. Outline style. You can see what this one is telling you is that you can have what's it called, like border and outline at the same time.
Okay.
Outline and border, they work differently, but they look similar. When you say outline, well, go on. If you're working in if you're doing graphics, most of the time they will
Okay.
call this outline. They're referring to border there. Though we normally assume it's border, but in a more elaborate way, in CSS, both are two different things. In case you want to do like double line, that will at least help you. And if you look at this one, it's still the same declaration. We have solid color align. You can also use the same thing for the border as well.
Okay.
I think after a few stuffs, we'll start working on crazy designs. No, not that crazy. If you look at this one, we have border. We have space in between the border and the outline. Let's see how that is implemented. Look at this one. Outline offsets. Normally, if I introduce you to a concept, I expect you to go over it. Timmy,
Yes, sir.
oh, you didn't submit my assignments, did you? I
I
told you to
did.
go over padding and margin and give me a demonstration, but nobody submitted it. Do not forget, I said I teach you one, you learn two by yourself.
All right.
That's the best way to learn. Okay,
All right.
let's see some properties in outline. For outline, we have, you can see we have some that we work for this in Mozilla. There are some that are deprecated as well. That it means those values that are no longer, that people don't use that much. For example, the VH we used. Where's that VH? I think I've deleted it. That VH we used for this element, people don't normally use it. Where's this error coming from? Oh, sorry. This one. Well, there's so many colors in it's I don't know if papaya wimp. Oh, sorry for the diversion. So I think we've this one is done and dusted. Let's check. I've also discussed about font as well. Sometimes ago, there we
Yes.
mentioned sans serif, sans serif, and the difference between both. You still remember?
Yes.
Yes.
So there, I also mentioned that, for example, if you have Times New Roman, you know, I did not mention that Times New Roman is a couple of words for just one font style. Because it's multiple words, you have to give it a quotation, put it inside quotation. And I told you that the system checks for the first element, for the first font. If you cannot find it on the system, it checks the second one. If you cannot find it, it moves to the third one. It moves to the declaration. This sans serif. So this sans serif now is now telling the system, use anyone you use. The browser can find on the system for the default. The default font the browser recognizes for sans serif. And before you use any font combination, I must call your attention to using so many fonts on your web page. So many fonts slows down the page. You want your page to load very very fast. Unless if you have like two to three, it shouldn't be more than that. Some people use just two on their design. Some will use about three, but don't make it too much. If you use so many styles, especially when you are downloading them from a source, for example, if you are like downloading from Google, there's a way we normally import styles because not all styles can be found on your PC. So if you're now importing so many files from Google or from any fonts vendor, sometimes some fonts can take up to 500 kilobytes. Some can take 100 MB if you're not careful. So the more fonts you have, the slower your page is. I hope you get.
Okay. Yes.
So apart from that, you in order to use fonts, sometimes selecting fonts for a web page can be very very tricky. So it's better sometimes to go over font combination for web. You can just type it, font combination for websites. Let's check here. Can you see my screen?
Yes.
Yes. I can.
What can you see on the screen?
The 30 best font combination
Okay.
for web design.
Now if you look at this one, these are some fonts. Normally you cannot find this one as a default on your PC. Most of the time you don't find it there.
Okay.
Now check. Let's check down. If you look at this one, this is a combination. This is a font style. This is another font style. They are giving you this one. Abri fat face and Lato. Or has anyone go over this one? So we won't take much time on it.
Font right.
I mean, have you guys gone over this thing before? So we won't go over this. We won't be iterating over what you've known before.
Yeah, we've really gone over like we've
Like
really gone over fonts. Okay.
about fonts,
Yes, I said, have you done it before?
we normally use fonts before, but not in a very professional way like this.
Okay,
Not in a programming way.
okay. If you look at this one, it said we've pulled fonts from a variety of sources. We have Google Fonts, Adobe Fonts, font repository like font.com. There are many of them. So And you also need to be careful how where you use the fonts. Did you know that
Okay.
if you have there are some fonts whereby they have width. If you download some fonts, some can have 500 width. Is it width? Yes, I think width. Some can have 600, some can have 700. All those ones, if you want to download everything to your system, it will slow down your page. So you have to choose properly. Which one do you want to use? For example, if you look at this one, the thickness is called the weight. This should be around 600. If you look at this one is quite different from the other one. Uh, Allegria Sun, Sun Black, and Allegria. Both are the same, but one has um more width. Let's just go through. You can see so many of them. There are some crazy fonts online. If you want to use artistic fonts, then also you will also find them online. But be very careful. Consider your audience. Are
Okay.
they the kind of audience that love artistics? For example, not everybody may be able to read this one, so you have to choose wisely. You can see. So you should be able to find your way around this. The one will get to probably importing fonts. The one maybe we just go over important fonts. I'll give you some scripts sometimes, or just point you to some challenges, then you achieve it. From that,
Okay.
you learn. I think we've done so much on this. If you see the call, there was time we said there are so many properties in fonts. Not this one. Look at this one. We have the font size. We've done this one, right?
Yes.
Family, we've done this one. The width is what I just mentioned. That is how thick is the font
Font.
style. Probably italics, all these stuffs. I don't use all this. You can also make your research on them. There are some font style whereby you transform the fonts. If you are having, we have a capital letter, then small letters. You can have capital letter all through. Sometimes you can invert it with CSS to look to change to this thing. But internally, if you change something like that, it does not affect the. If you submit it to backend will still see it as. If you use CSS to change this one, to transform this one to capital letter, backend will see it as it is here,
Okay.
not as what CSS has changed it to. So just take note of that. Let me see if I can still remember that. Transform. Oh, sorry, I don't use that font. I'll need to check that later. Um, if you want to check a whole lot about fonts, there's always um a sheet for that, like property sheet. Let's say if you
Okay.
have it here, the waitlist used to have them. For example, everything that talks about fonts, it will give you a sheet. You can find it. Should be probably if you go to W3 school, just check at the end of the page. You should see like a more on fonts, more on something. Is that okay? Hello.